Hey, Carlin. Carlin. Carlin.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
the update?
Hey,
Come on.
I was
You
just,
sounded panicked.
no, I was spraying some Febreze around, kind of trying to get rid of the pet smell, the pet odor, the dog odor
What's
in here.
what's
Great news. The Bama guys have cleared out. It is just me. This whole Sailor Sam Investments thing has worked out. Aaron, this is our show now. It's you and me, 50-50.
what?
Okay? It worked. It worked. That's why like you didn't take
Don't
this.
you no, don't you pull my leg.
You know you
Don't you pull my leg.
Okay. You didn't take the assessment, right? You never gave in.
Of course
Oh,
not.
that's awesome.
Of
That's so
course.
great. Okay, so it was touch and go there for a little while. I wasn't sure
Okay.
what was going to happen. Bama Dog got word. He was not happy, but by that point it was too late. And so we had basically, you and I used a Sailor Sam's, our buddy Sailor Sam, his shell company, to take over the majority of the Pod James Pod group.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so now you and I are, as Sailor Sam Investments, we are the majority co-owners of the podcast, and so they cleared out. They're off.
What
They're taking Bama Creative Group elsewhere. They're gone.
what did Bama Doc say?
He didn't even say anything to me.
Well,
Now,
how did you deliver the news? Did Sailor Sam send him a letter?
Sailor Sam sent him a letter. Didn't even like. They just sent him a letter. He got the letter. They looked it over. It was quite a commotion. I was kept out. I'm in the open office area. They pulled everybody but me.
Is he gonna take us to the court?
And I don't think so. I mean, they just cleared out. They just left. Red came by and he said something, real like, I hope that you guys, that you guys have good luck, blah blah, whatever. I don't even remember I can't do that. I can't do the accent.
He's spreading bad juju.
Yeah, yeah. I guess no. He's not. He wasn't. He was trying to. He's trying to be like cordial about it.
He's trying to get a LinkedIn connection.
Yeah, probably. Probably wants to be connected on LinkedIn. But hey, I mean, it's
Oh,
ours
no.
again.
I
It's
can't believe
our
this.
podcast.
I can't believe this.
Oh, yes.
What? So no Bamalonians.
No Bamalonians. No Bama Dog.
It's just you.
It's just me. It's just me in here. It has been like
What is happening?
It
It
has
has
been-
been so long.
like years of just stress. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just like,
So,
oh.
can we do Can we do this podcast without Bama Dog? It's like maybe I'm having like a Stockholm syndrome effect where we've been his prisoner for so long that I don't know how to podcast without him. Right? Is there some sort of like, I don't know. Do you think we can do this?
I think we can. I mean, we've all this time, like, ever since we started with, we talked about 001, episode 001, we talked about Goldeneye. And ever since that time, we've done nothing but talk about James Bond. And,
Nothing.
And I don't want to belittle, I mean, over the years of us doing this show, Bama Dog has had his contributions, right? I mean, he's contributed.
Strong contributions.
He's contributed positively. He's contributed negatively. I don't want to belittle those, but him being here or not being here doesn't take away from who James Bond is to us.
Right.
Okay. Now,
Well said.
now I want to ask you this.
We are
see if you can
still
guess.
James Bond
I want to
experts.
see if you can guess. What's the first thing I did? What's the first thing I did when they left? First thing.
You brought in Pepe.
I brought Pepe back. I called up the guys at Pepe. I said, hey, do you remember me? They did not.
You worked there.
I know, they didn't remember me. But I said, well, can I place an order? Can I have you guys deliver? Can the Pepe truck come by every so often and restock the Pepe coffee? And it was weird. They sent somebody out right away. It was a little weird because the guy's like bringing in a whole cart of Pepe, and I'm the only guy here, and he was kind of like looking around. Like, you gonna drink all this coffee? Because he knows. I mean, all you need is just one drop of Pepe.
So good. So good. It's like immediate addiction.
Oh,
It's like meth, but not quite like meth.
right. Not like that at all, but just like it.
Just like it.
So
Okay.
I've
All
been
right.
I've been going through. I've been tearing down the Bama Creative Group. No more mission statements. Some of that vinyl stuff's coming down. I'm taking down like anything that's about Bama Creative in
Hey,
Alabama.
you know what I should do?
Yeah,
I should come visit, and I should bring down the potty.
you should totally come visit, and we could redecorate the whole office with James Bond memorabilia.
I know you don't. I know you're not ready for animals to come visit, but I could bring Toby down with
Yeah,
the
bring
potty.
Toby.
We could
Bring
have-
Toby.
You might not like the dog smell, but as long as you're Febrezing the
I'm
place,
breezing the place. Yeah,
the whole place, every place,
the whole
that
building.
the yard around the building. I'm sure Bama Dog was,
No,
never
I haven't
cleaned up
gotten
after
to that
himself.
yet. I mean, I was thinking about calling some landscape guys. Maybe
You should call Hugh James. I've heard he does good work.
I should. I've heard of him. He's great. He's great.
Hugh
He's
James. Okay.
They did like an article about him in the magazine.
Oh, in the magazine.
I think it was the same issue that Bama Dog was on the cover of.
I remember that cover. I think that's still his Twitter profile
It might be.
photo.
It might be. But I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about we should unfollow Bama Dog. I mean, just like good riddance, man. Like you've brought us down. You've turned this thing into something it wasn't. Let's clean break.
Oh, you really want to like burn bridges like that?
No. I don't know. I'm just like so caught up in everything.
Just give it a day or two, and you don't want to unfollow him or block him just because
Right.
you want to be able to see what he's saying about you.
You're right.
Especially
You're
for
right.
taking the court.
I don't want
Yes.
to do a QK here, right?
Yes, Bama Dog's Twitter account at Bama_dog. His picture is still the Tallahassee magazine.
I don't want to be in a situation, say years from now, kind of like the situation QK is in now, where she burned some bridges. Now she's emailing me all the time.
I'm surprised you even bringing her up.
She wants to try and reconcile, and like no, that bridge was burned.
Has she contacted you recently?
She reached out. I did not reply.
And she doesn't reach out to me. I guess I'm just,
I'm surprised she did.
anything to her?
Surprised she did.
I mean, I know she worked.
I mean, she wasn't your. I mean, I
Closely,
hired her to be our assistant, but she was,
Oh yeah, her work on Octopussy was stellar, unparalleled.
it was when she guested on another podcast that was what did it. That was what.
She's responsible. She's single-handedly responsible for bringing Cigar Girl to the spotlight.
She kind of is. I am so excited about James Bond again. Like I'm so like the fact that we can get back into it, get into the nitty gritty of it. Like woo, Sheriff Pepper.
Nobody cuts and runs on Sheriff J.W. Pepper.
Like it's so exciting.
Let's do it. Let's talk about that really cool video that kind of went viral.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Of
Like
course I know.
surely you watched it before anybody else, before even the creators had it out, right?
Well, I mean, did they reach out to you to see, like, because they're like, hey, we need some 007 seen it. 007 seen it. Experts to check this out before we release it to the public.
Well, they emailed me to check it out because they wanted our publicity, exposure.
Right. They
From
saw
our
what we did
podcast.
for I Only Need One.
Yes, exactly. And that was during our kind of difficult time. We were trying to get through some things and the assessment and going through Sailor Sam. So we're just now getting to it, and I know it's been out for a little while. But Die Spy Kill Kill.
Yes. Now this is I mean, in a lot of ways, this is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So this group of people, I guess, or this guy, he says, "Hey, what if every James Bond actor was in the same movie, and he combines all 24 of the canon films, and puts them into the same
And then
movie,
some.
and then some." Right? There's some other clips. There's some other. You're right. But I don't talk about that other stuff. That's not what I mean, I'm not even really like. To me, it was like I just saw like static. Like when other stuff came up, it was just.
You mean there are different movies that come out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like your buddy Scott all the time, loving Ted 2 this, Ted 2 that. That's not me.
Gosh, he talks to me about what's Seth MacFarlane's new show.
The Orville.
Oh, he talks about the Orville nonstop. He's like, it's just like Ted 2.
It's so funny how into Seth MacFarlane Scotty is.
He's nothing. It's like nothing but Seth MacFarlane. It's like when Kevin Spacey had all that controversy. He's like, I've seen this Family Guy episode. He like knew the episode of the season right away. I'm like, Scott, calm it down, buddy. Calm it down. All we do here is talk about James Bond. It's this fan film. Really, it could be considered just a film. Like I think it's that good.
It's listed on Letterboxd.
It combines all of James Bond into one cohesive film that we could watch.
Cohesive really is the word here, isn't it?
It takes all the Bonds and makes one story, but several different stories where all the Bonds are really pitted against each other.
Right. They're fighting each other. They're shooting at each other.
Sort of like a GoldenEye, N64 GoldenEye.
This is like GoldenEye
video game.
The movie. Exactly.
The GoldenEye, the movie. The video game, the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that some of our listeners, and I don't even mean some, I mean all, because we're talking it up. And if we're talking it up, they're going to be excited about it. They're going to say, hey, Carlin, hey, Aaron, where can I see it? Now, it's unfortunate because at this point, it doesn't seem to be out for public consumption. Now, I hope someday it's available, on digital, HD,
right,
and perhaps on Blu-ray. I would strongly encourage the Broccoli's to go and say, hey guy.
Yes. Even if it's special feature, okay, special feature.
It's a bonus disc. It's a bonus disc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like whenever they do the next box set and they put Spectre in there, it's
they'll do a Daniel Craig box set.
Well, they'll have all of the movies in there. They'll have all the Daniel Craig ones. They'll have Casino Royale. They'll have Quantum of Solace. They'll have
maybe.
They'll have Skyfall. And then
Skyfall.
They'll have Spectre, and then as a bonus disc, they have another little slot there, and they got right there, Die, Spy, Kill.
I think that would be the perfect way to do it.
So it's a series of clips, and in one way, it's, if you want to look at it from a narrative standpoint, it's impressive. Like you said, it's a cohesive story. You sit down, and from beginning to end, you're just caught up in it. There's this whole thing about where each of the Bonds is its own person, and their like actual actor names is even incorporated into the film, and so it's like Timothy Dalton is the agent's name. It's like he's just codenamed James Bond, which is a theory. It's a fan theory. Like, hey, these guys that's not really their name, James Bond.
Yes, several James Bond coexisting.
Exactly.
One Earth, one James Bond world.
Right. It's like another Earth in a sense, right? So
right, this is like James Bond world.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they're fighting each other. But the cool way he goes about doing it is that there's what it does is it says to you like, hey, there's been 24 movies, and yeah, there's other things we can talk about, but there's so many similarities. Like there's a bunch of different ski chases, or there's a bunch of different underwater sequences, or there's a bunch of different times where there's a submarine, or a bunch of different times where there's a train fight, or whatever. And he takes all of the similar stuff and he puts it together. And it winds up being this really interesting look at the similarities and differences of James Bond. It's like a celebration of James Bond.
Absolutely. And it's when you first start playing it, it takes a little while to get used to it. And I think the way they started it was fairly, it's approachable. You can get into it fairly quickly and kind of understand what they're doing. And they pit Roger Moore against Pierce Brosnan right away.
Yeah.
Snow chasing, right?
Yeah.
And two completely different movies, decades apart, different film stocks, different camera techniques. I think they edit it cleverly. I think they had the entire films in one aspect ratio, so you don't have a bunch of bouncing around.
Right.
And there's there are occasional films that stand out that just look completely different. most notably Daniel Craig's films, most notably Casino Royale. Looks just completely different. Anytime the Quantum Solace isn't in there a whole lot that I noticed. Like anytime that crazy poor man's Paul Greengrass camera shake kind of jumps in, it's a little distracting. But other than that,
It wouldn't really, our differences in opinion in that movie aside, it wouldn't fit into this.
right. But the majority of what you watch surprisingly cuts together well. And what I'm most impressed with here is their ability to sound design and
Yes.
to strip away the soundtrack for the majority of these pictures and to create their own, not only soundtrack, but their own layers of sound design, their own background tracks, their own sound effects, their own dialogue tracks that kind of overlap one another. And at times it's hard to understand because they have to like lower the dialogue because it doesn't make sense, or there are clips where they're talking where there is no dialogue.
Right.
So it like if you know the movies and if you're experts like us, you'll catch on to that. But if you kind of start to get into it and you realize like wow, people put a lot of work, years of work into this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, years, and you know the other interesting aspect, and maybe this is the part where it does get a little tedious, perhaps, or cumbersome, or just it becomes a bit much. In this way, is because of the nature of the way they're telling the story. Is we're watching a 2 hour and 15-minute action sequence.
Yes.
Really. I mean, we're
Non-stop.
right. So there's very you mentioned the dialogue. There's actually very little dialogue because it would be hard to string together coherent dialogue out of the movies. I mean, it could probably be done, but it would probably be more difficult. And in what they
Most of the dialogue's set up at the beginning when all of the or M is giving his or her mission to their relative James Bond. And then
Yes.
once they get their missions, and then the rest of the movie is just pitting them against one another in different scenarios or
Right.
different locations.
And
So
there's a
this
lot of
this
those-
scene is a casino.
And there's a lot of like suspenseful moments where we're watching we're watching, say, Pierce Brosnan quietly moving through some sort of statue garden thing or something, and then we're also watching, say, Sean Connery going through a garden suspensefully. And so in each of those movies on their own, that's maybe a minute or two. Take 5 of those and edit them together, and now
It just keeps going. It just keeps going.
that gets a little wearing, but other than that, it's
Well, it adds to the suspense because there are multiple spies who are each other's equals, right? So I feel it's safe to say that we both appreciate when we see James Bond actually being a spy, and not so much of an action star, but as actually observing a situation, whether through eyes or through a computer or phone or what have you. This movie is full of that. You get all of those secretive spy moments,
times 6.
plus scenes from movies that we don't mention.
Static.
Static.
This is also, if you think about it, a little bit like our dodgeball situation.
Uh-huh. Yep. I was thinking the same thing.
We have a scenario where I have a dodgeball team. I have a lot of James Bonds on my dodgeball team, and you have a James Bond team, and you got just the one. But we're constantly.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Continue.
Continue.
Our teams are pitted against one another. So, this is a representation. We've always said, "Oh, it'd be great to have a movie version of our dodgeball game." Well, this kind of is that.
Right. Minus the most important player, which is the shark. There's no shark scene here, but
there is not. There is not. There's some of our players are not in this,
it makes me wonder if you got a hold of the editor of this and said, "Hey, can you cut the shark scenes here? I don't want Aaron to see how good his player is."
I thought there was a shark in it, but that aside,
it may have been the part I slept through.
I assume it took months and months to work on this. I would be willing to guess that they were working on this back when we were recording the show and going through the James Bond movies, and maybe we hadn't even had a locked in complete dodgeball team when they were putting those preliminary notes together.
Right.
So I know that's my understanding. That'd be my guess.
I mean, that's giving them a lot of credit and taking credit from us, which we're not about. But I see what you mean. I see. I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's an idea, because we both seem to be very impressed with the dedication to James Bond films to make something like this, and also the dedication to just creating it as a video editor. I think this whole idea of Die Spy Kill Kill would have been stronger as a like a mini series or like a YouTube series.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it starts off with maybe just the teaser, and then each episode is okay. In this episode, the Bonds are going against each other in the casino.
Right.
You know, and then the next episode, each episode's a new place. That way, one, they have longevity of releasing them once a week or what have you, and it keeps fans talking about it.
Yeah.
We could have done our whole podcast based on their episodes.
We could, exactly. We could have done an episode of our show on each episode of their show.
Looking back, I think that may have been the better release format.
That could have been, and we know the release format. We know
right, and then at the very end, once they finish all their episodes, then they would have compiled them all into one film and then release it theatrically.
Oh, and then it would come out on Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. Yes.
Yeah.
And not even special features, like its own independent
release
Blu-ray
with special features. I mean, it would have special features.
Special features, and one of the special features would be our podcast, of course.
Well, it would be our podcast about it, and then it also
it would documentary film based on our podcast.
Yes, that high school student put together. And then maybe they could have like a slideshow. You know how sometimes you can slide through and look at little graphics or whatever, and it could be all the different letters that Janice has sent you.
It's fan mail from Janice. If the distribution company wants my letters from Janice, then sure, yeah. I don't know if they would want this last one.
Oh, that was where she probably was responding. She was responding to me, and when I told her about the future of the podcast.
Well, no, it's you think you were telling her about the future. With your yeah,
that's exactly what I was saying.
She took it exactly how I thought she would take it, and I can't even repeat it on air for fear of the Council of Mothers.
Go ahead and do it, and we'll. Because you know what do we have to worry about the Council of Mothers? I mean, we don't have the Bama Dog tie-in and all that stuff anymore. You know, we're rebels now. Slap the explicit tag on here or whatever.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to say it, but it's essentially, I don't want to misquote her. This is not making the special features. It says, "Dear Aaron," and I'll just paraphrase here, WTF. Love Janice.
What do you think she was getting at there?
Oh, jeez. Well, she's thinking, am I gonna keep doing the podcast with you, or should I replace you?
Absolutely, you're gonna keep. I mean,
and also, she wants an apology from you.
She wants an apology from me,
and I kind of have to agree with her.
Look, I don't feel like I have anything to apologize for. You know, I said.
Do you really want? We have so much momentum right now with our podcast.
I said
we have Bama Dog Gone. We're finally talking. We're talking about Die Spy Kill Kill.
I know, which is like
the documentary
such James Bond. I mean, it is like the most James Bond we have ever James Bonded.
Do you really want to kill our momentum by holding these grievances with the?
I don't have any grievances.
Apologize.
Okay.
Just do it, man.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay. I'm sorry.
That's it?
That's it?
I mean, come on.
Okay.
I mean, she put a lot of work into her last letter.
You're right. She did. Okay. Hey, Janice. Carlin here. My most humble apologies.
I mean, it's a little long, but I think that'll do.
Okay. Hopefully the nuance came through.
She likes to communicate by writing, but
That's not how I communicate.
I think she will accept that apology. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for our future episodes.
I know. Future episodes. Because here, can I tell you where I'm at right now?
You're at James Pod headquarters.
No, I mean like in my head, right? Okay, so I'm watching Die, Spy, Kill. Okay. I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, it's that movie. Oh, it's that. Oh, hey, that's from GoldenEye. Oh, hey, that's from the Spy Love.
It's like playing 007 Seen It.
007 Seen It. Just like that. It is exactly like that. And I am thinking, I am so pumped.
You're on your
James,
game, unlike when you played here.
Because first off, you're wrong. I won that game. I am so pumped. I was so pumped about James Bond. Okay, and like, we were talking in the last episode, like, where do we go? And yeah, we got the comics, right? We said, oh, we can talk about the novels. Those are things we can do. But here, you know what we should do? We should start over, okay?
Yeah. Fresh. Clean slate.
Before we did it in a crazy order. I say next episode, we're starting over from scratch, Dr. No, and going from there, all of them again, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to knock these things out. We're going to get back on the game monthly, okay? This is I am on board monthly. Are you in?
I'm in. And if we get going and our fan support is there, like they have always been, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we go twice a month.
Out of curiosity, Crazy. What do you think? Like the 007th of the month, and then what? The 007th and then what else of the month?
Well, the 24th for the number of movies.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Okay, so 007th. And potentially the 0024th.
That sounds like there's somebody at the door, and it's just me. And I hate to do this, but I gotta.
What?
Well, there's somebody knocking on the door.
Is it locked? Well, let him in. Come on. Okay, maybe it's a fan. Come on.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I mean, if there are other people here, they could let him in. I just hate to ruin the momentum of the show.
Sure. Just go open it.
I'll be right back.
It's either fans ready or it's Hugh James. Maybe Hugh James come pick up Bama Dog's mess in the yard.
Yes, James Bonding.
What's this?
We're here to acquire this building. Yes, James Bonding. You've heard of this
I don't really
podcast?
understand.
Yes.
Maybe it's not Hugh James.
We have now purchased your company's own podcast. And here are all the documents.
I don't get it.
It's Janice. Is he getting a letter from Janice?
Legally,
What?
you are not allowed to be in this building anymore.
Oh gosh.
You have approximately
Carlin.
5 minutes to exit.
Hello.
I can't believe this.
To stop whatever podcast you are doing.
Hold on. What are you? Aaron.
Who is that? Hello.
Hi. Hey, Aaron.
What's going on? Who is that? They sounded upset.
I am. I can't believe it.
What? That we have our podcast going again? We're gonna keep it going?
Aaron,
We have some momentum. I know. I can't believe it either.
Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Carlin. Hey, Carlin.
My most humble apologies.
What? No, you already wrote your letter to Janice.
I'm now. I guess that's all I have to say to you. I don't know. I think.
Well, I mean, it's nice of you to apologize to me, but that's not necessary.
This guy just showed up and there's a bunch of. We've. Sailor Sam, he messed us. We got.
What? He sent us a welcome gift?
Okay, so let me just try and quickly summarize what happened. I thought we owned Sailor Sam Investments, right? And so that Sailor Sam Investments bought Pod James Pod, and then we own Sailor Sam Investments.
We own Pod James Pod.
Well, so then Bama Dog sold his portion to Sailor Sam, and so he owned all of it, and now he has sold the entirety of Pod James Pod to Bames Jonding, and now they've just delivered a letter telling me that they're shutting us down. They've completely they bought us to shut us down. Like, we're done. That's it. We're done. They're right now. They're in here and they're taking all of our stuff. They own the building. They
Bames
own
Jonding is there now
their group. Their group of people.
because we don't name names.
And
Wait a second. Sailor Sam or Bama Dog sold his shares to Sailor Sam.
And so Sailor Sam owned all of it. He owned all of it. Because we had sold.
I thought Sailor Sam didn't own Sailor Sam Investments. How was he still involved?
He tricked us.
Are you kidding me?
That's mine. That's not.
Are you
James
kidding me
Pod.
right now?
That's not Pod James Pod. That's my personal.
Carlin?
Personal jacket. No, that's not. That's a jacket that I wear. Like, why would that be the company's jacket? It's my jacket.
Hey, pal, we're gonna turn that stuff off. Sir, don't touch that. Sir, I'm taking it.
They're telling me.
Carlin, you got to do something.
They're telling me.
You got to do something.
They'll tell me they're gonna shut the power down here in a minute.
Kick him out of there. They're not. This is our podcast.
No, not according to this piece of paper.
Well, who wrote that piece of paper? Just Sailor Sam.
No, it's got all these official seals, and it's got signatures of people, and it's on attorney law letterhead, and
Bames Jonding.
Where do you want this? Where do you want this?
I
I'm gonna go check out this area.
I guess
we've talked about Bames Jonding since
5 minutes, okay?
just give
Episode
us a
one?
minute.
Episode
Just give us
two?
a minute. I mean, we're trying.
Tell them
We're in the middle of recording. I know
Are
we
you
have to
kidding
shut
me?
down. I know it. Okay, just give us a minute.
They want you out that fast?
They want me out of here. They just told me they're going to call the police. They just told me they're
What
going
are
to call
they
the
do-
police.
what
to
are they
kick me out.
doing back there?
Because now they say that I'm trespassing.
All right, we need to move those things.
Come on, this is big.
Box
This
those
is big
things
news.
up.
Just give me a second.
Those look pretty fragile, so let's put those in the.
Can't believe any of this.
Nice and tight.
Aaron, I don't.
You guys can't wait.
How could Sailor Sam do that to us? He was our buddy. We were calling plays.
I know. We were calling plays, but we would. I guess he was
Were
only
we-
our buddy before 9 a.m. He wasn't our buddy after 9 a.m. when we weren't calling plays together anymore. It got too hot.
That's when he calls in his Bames Johnny crew.
I can't believe it. I don't know. I don't know, Aaron.
How do you even know about Bames Johnny? Did you mention Bames Johnny to him?
I mean, we've talked about. We haven't named names on the podcast, but we've talked about him before. So maybe he just heard us talking about him. I don't know.
So what are they moving in and just they're gonna do their recordings there?
No, they're taking everything out. They're taking it all out. They're moving it out, and I guess I don't know if they're gonna sell off everything. I don't know.
Wait, hang on. So will they? What? Ask them if they'll keep us on. Like let us keep doing our podcast.
Okay, I'll ask.
And just ask them that.
Hey.
What?
Yeah, do you think just instead of us owning it, that you just keep us on staff and we can keep doing it? Why not?
Sir, James Bond is already a James Bond podcast, and we no longer need your services.
I understand there's already a James Bond pod, but the two of us, we talk about James Bond and nothing else. And I don't know what those guys do. I don't know what they do.
are professional James Bond
well, can we-
podcasters.
Maybe we could do a Triple X podcast or something.
Sir, we do not require
They're
your
saying I have to go.
services,
They're
and we will
they're
not
kicking me
be
out.
retaining you.
They're kicking me out.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Aaron,
So we can't collaborate at all.
not
None of
with
us
not
will
under them.
Talk about James Bond anymore.
Oh, what's
What-
that? Oh, there's a line in this contract, this letter that apparently says we can't ever even do a James Bond podcast again ever. Like I can't ever show up on hashtag
What?
underscore Bond at
Age,
sign age.
hashtag
I can't even show
underscore.
up on that show. I can't ever do it.
You can't even
You can't.
guest star on it.
We apparently neither one of us could ever do a James Bond
we're-
podcast again.
Do they not know we're the experts?
I guess they do know we're the experts. That's why they're shutting us down, because we're the experts.
Oh my gosh.
Aaron, I don't know what else to say other than, if
They're there right now. The hosts of
no,
James
not the
John.
hosts. They're people, not the hosts.
Like, oh,
It's time
We've
to
done
leave.
0033
You
of
need
these
to
episodes.
get up. You need to
And
exit
as I think back on it,
right now. You need
whether
to
I put
exit
it-
the building. It's time, sir.
in the top, the middle, or the bottom tier, of life
don't even
experiences.
do it. Don't even do it. Don't even say that.
This
It's too soon.
is podcast firmly
It's too soon.
in the middle.
It'll always be top tier to me.
Sir, I do not want to have to alert the authorities.
Bye,
Sir,
Aaron.
please leave.
Yeah, I just want to go on record as saying Bames John Dean is the lowest of the low, the bottom tier.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
And anybody who listens to Bames John Dean is right there with them.
All right. Well, I guess we have to go.
And there's going to be no bow makeout scene.
No, I don't feel like that right now.
Just go
Too sad.
unplug him. Just go unplug him. Okay.
Bye, Aaron.
Don't let him pull that plug. I hear them. Okay. Well, I guess I'll say bye before they do.
Okay.
All right.
Well. Oh, I just had one more brilliant thought about James Bond before. No.